Hello, this is class 5.2 and is related to the grammar. Okay, let's see what are the objectives for this class. In this class, you will be able to practice using the passive of the present continuous, the passive of present perfect, and the passive of the future. So basically, we're going to be talking about the passive voice of the present continuous, present perfect, and the future. Let's take a look to the characteristics of the passive voice, the passive tense. First of all, it is most often used when the performer or the doer or the agent of the action is unknown, unimportant, or is obvious from the context. So if we can infer the agent, the doer, or the performer from the context, then it's better if we use the passive voice. Number 2, if it's necessary to add the performer of the action, then we can introduce it using the preposition by. Number 3, only transitive verbs can be used in the passive. Number 4, it centers the attention on the object of the action instead of the subject. And the last one, it uses a form of the verb to be plus the past participle of the main verb. Alright, let's go deeper on this topic. As for example, we have the passive of the present continuous for ongoing actions. That is the present continuous of the verb to be plus the past participle of the main verb. For example, the software is being used to record the calls. In this example, we have the present continuous of the verb to be is being, and the past participle of the main verb used. Example number 2, the laws are being modified in this moment. The laws are being modified in this moment. The present continuous of the verb to be are being plus the past participle of the main verb modified. As you can see in both examples, the most important is this object of the action, the software and the laws. So the passive form focus the attention in these two elements of the same. In the present perfect, for recently completed actions. So as we can remember, the present perfect is used for recent completed actions. So in the passive voice, we're gonna have the present perfect of the verb to be plus the past participle of the main verb. For example, the prisoners have been transferred to another cell. And here we have the present perfect of the verb to be, have been, plus the past participle of the main verb, transferred. The second example, most of the apartment has been painted, has been, the present perfect of the verb to be, painted, the past participle of the verb paint. Most of the apartment has been painted since the family went on vacation this morning. So both actions are recent. That's why we use the present perfect for it. And finally, we're gonna see the future form of the passive. In this case, we can use either will or the expression be going to for the future, for the passive of the verb to be and past participle of the main verb. For example, the company will be the future of the verb to be plus bought, that is the past participle of the verb by. Remember, this is an irregular verb. The company will be bought by a bigger one. Also, in these examples, we are introducing the agent using the preposition by, as we saw in the characteristics of the passive. Example number 2. Those buildings are going to be demolished by the blast if we don't do something. So the future form of the verb to be using the expression be going to or going to be, and the past participle of the main verb demolished by the blast if we don't do something. Okay, then we have here the passive form of 3 different tenses: the present continuous, the present perfect, and the future. Mind sticker, let's see some exercise, right? What's the correct passive form of the verb in parentheses? The verb in the parentheses is download. Every weekend, freeware on computers everywhere. You have 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So if you say the present continuous passive form, you are correct. Every week, freeware is being downloaded on computers everywhere. Some keys were some keywords in this example are the time expression: every week, everywhere. So every week, freeware is being downloaded, the present, and this is an ongoing action because this happens everywhere, every week. Example number 2. Soon, podcast, the verb in parentheses watch, and there we have the agent here by more and more night shift workers. This is a good example of the agent, the introduction of the agent here. So, what is the correct passive form of the verb watch? You have 5 seconds. Zero. So if you say will be watched, then you are correct. Soon podcast will be watched by more and more night shift workers. So here we could have been used the form of be going to. It doesn't matter. And the last example. What is the correct passive form of the verb in parentheses use? 5 seconds. 1, 0. So if you say the present perfect passive form, you are correct. Recently, blogs have been used to improve one's personal brand. So this is a recent action. So thanks to the adverb recently, we can realize that the present perfect is the best form of the verb used in this example statement. Okay, now it's your turn to practice. Practice all these passive form and see you in the next class. Practice, practice. Goodbye.